In this industry, never say always or never. See, there are always exceptions and never absolutes. Alex Collins and I are going to talk about it, so stick around. Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped, which I co-own with my amazingly talented, beautiful wife and best friend, Brooke. Okay, Alex and I are back for our next segment. If you're just tuning in, we sat down for a 2-hour conversation that we've been chopping up into different segments and releasing them over time. So check out the show notes below for the previous segments so you can catch up. Oh, and you see this cool set dressing that I have back here? I got this thing for my birthday, and I hadn't done a Lego set in so long. So if it's something that you're curious about, I'll put a link to it in the show notes below. It will be an Amazon affiliate link, which just means that if you click on it and purchase, I might get a small commission, but it does not affect your price. Just wanted to give you that heads up. Okay, so in this segment, Alex and I caution actors when they are tuning into experts on social media, whether it's agents or managers, casting directors, etc. Side note, you also have to be discerning about whether those people are currently doing those jobs or whether that's a former job where they might not know the current trends in the industry anymore. And no matter what their current grasp is on this industry, you just have to be weary when they start using terms like always and never, because no single professional speaks for the entire industry.
I think that's a really interesting segue in the sense that we were talking about. There very rarely are there always and never situations. In perpetuity, pretty close to I don't ever want to do them. I mean, I don't have to as a union actor, but for many actors. But very few things in our business are black and white. Ironically, one of the things that is black and white is that there are no black and white headshots anymore.
True.
Right? That's pretty much 100%er. But it's interesting because social media is everywhere. Everyone's got an opinion. Mm-hmm. Some of those opinions come with that person has a particular resume attached to them. So maybe they have a larger audience than others, or maybe they have a louder megaphone than others. I personally try and avoid the terms always and never because I think it's dangerous, because there are always exceptions and never absolutes in this business. Do you have anything to say about that?
Oh gosh, so many things to say. Yeah, I think it's the thing that sort of arouses a lot of passion. I'll use that word. And I know you and I and some other fellow actors, a lot of people, but in just keeping it to the entertainment industry and not letting it get outside to like other hot button stuff, is when someone has a megaphone, like you said, and especially when something about their resume gives them that implied clout. It's a dangerous platform, and I think, like you said, you just got to be so, if you're a reasonable human being, then you have to be so careful about that power and that influence. And as the person who is listening to it, it's like, yeah, please take everything everyone says with a grain of salt. Like until you have enough, especially if it involves you giving money to someone. Like don't come tape at Get Taped. If you've never heard of us, you've never been to us, ask someone. Like people sometimes will come and ask, like, you have a flyer or a card? Like, no, it's just always been word of mouth because Brooke and I trust where our moral compass is, and so we don't ever want to be someone who is an always never type of person. So it saddens me and it angers me sometimes to see a professional who, whether they're currently doing their thing or it's a former thing where they are still riding a former success and making money off of that former success. It's just, I'll just choose the word saddens me to see them sort of abusing that microphone in a way that is going to misguide a lot of those newer actors who are hungry for wisdom and information. And then, then they're trolling that person's comments. Well, not trolling it. They're offering up thanks and praise. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Oh, thank you. And then you're just like, then it makes you grip harder, knowing like, oh no, it's working. Like this person is changing minds, but in such an unhelpful way by leading them down this path that of an always or a never. it's like, oh my gosh, I have 7 asterisks, or 7 exceptions to your rule already in the first 5 seconds of thinking of this.
Right.
And then for someone like us who might be, they might have tens of thousands of followers on said platform, and I have 3, so it's like, who's this guy? And so then it's hard, because how do you navigate the trying to be a voice, an alternative voice, or at least a clarifying voice? So yeah, I mean, without certainly getting into the weeds of names and specific instances, it's a frustrating place, because I know you specifically and us, I get taped, like we're trying to be voices that are uplifting and fostering that curiosity and fostering that continual learning, so that you can be your own advocate and be self-sufficient and achieve that ultimate idea of success, whatever it is for the individual.
I always say I might not be the right teacher for you. I don't coach anymore. I do in class situations. But if I'm not, I will help you find the right one. And I've got 3 to 4 to 5 recommendations. And here's why I like this person. And here's why she's great. Here's why he's fabulous. Here's why they're awesome. Check them out. Vet them yourself. And I think in the social media landscape, if you're looking at it on a full pendulum, the people who know enough to know differently are the ones who are kind of like rolling their eyes at the absurdity of always and never, right? These absolute positions. And to a large degree, those are also the people who are countering that noise, saying, no, I've got 7 exceptions to that just came up. And you could have just tweaked your message slightly and said, my opinion is, in my experience, I have found that, right? And then that opens the door to go, oh, okay, that makes sense. I've got a different opinion. Here's mine. Versus an absolute position. But then you come to the other side of the pendulum, these new actors who don't even know what questions to ask yet, like within perpetuity or knowing their no or what have you. They're seeing somebody with a platform of a certain size, with a certain resume, and must be giving me honest advice. I'm just going to take that gospel. And so to that group of people, I say, you kind of want to have 3 points of reference. Your own compass. Does this sound too good to be true? Does this sound absurd? Or does it sound reasonable? Okay. Then the second one should be peers. You presumably are in an acting class. Ask some peers, hey, have you read this? Have you heard this? How does that sit with you? Does that make sense? I know I'm newer, but like, this sounds cool. See, it sounds like it makes sense. What do you think? And then the third is a mentor or a teacher or a coach. Hey, do you mind if I take 2 minutes at the end of the class to ask you a question today? I read this thing and it makes sense to me. I just want to know what your point of view in it is in all of this. So at the very least, over time, your compass is then, your magnetic north is getting stronger based on the affirmations of your peers and your mentors and teachers, to a point where ultimately you may not need to ask those other parties, or you can see the nuance in the conversation and read between the lines.
Yes.
And that takes years.
Yeah. And I do think something you just said, you were saying it in a different context, but it made me think of in the conversation, read the comments. That is sometimes the danger, but also the checks and balances of social media is if what that person is saying is questionable, then usually there'll be dissenting voices in the comments if they haven't been deleted or if the post hasn't been removed.
Right.
And sometimes it ends up as a Deadline article, as we've seen a couple times from Southeastern sources.
Yes.
And so sometimes it blows up on its own. But then even with something like Deadline, you can't always trust that sort of Cliff Notes, too long didn't read that they're putting on their publication, because they're trying to get clicks, and so they might have sensationalized something that is actually not even as
Big
bad. Yeah, you're like. What is going on here? And so it just means that, and don't read the comments on Deadline. Gosh, those evolve so fast because everyone can post anonymously.
Anonymously, yeah.
But if you're on an IG or I don't even have TikTok, so I don't know if people comment on TikTok, but Facebook or IG, maybe not so much Twitter and Threads, but whatever it is, if this voice of authority has said something that's an always or never, check those comments.
Yeah.
You'll probably see a lot of the thank you icons and stuff for the people who are the acolytes, or is that the right word? People who really follow that person. But if you scroll far enough, and it's just a good idea too, because if you think you're going to write that pun that no one else thought of. It's probably been already commented 7 times in the comments. So it's just always a good idea to read the comments, at least scan them for the thought that you thought was really unique as a comeback. But look for those dissenting thoughts, especially if it's wisdom. And that's a good also step to just sort of doing your due diligence without getting lost in the negativity of social media. Because, there's people out there really wanting to share wisdom. There's a lot of good free wisdom out there. There's a lot of good podcasts, especially for actors. There's some really good podcasts out there. One Broke Actress and Audrey Helps Actors are 2 that come to mind immediately. And
That One Audition with Alicia Oxen, also fantastic.
Yes. So those are 3 resources right there for you. And people like Heidi Dean, who are always putting out tons of free good content on social media for actors, and all of them should have a paywall for more stuff, because and that's the whole point of business, right? That's the whole point of the free sample in the food court. There's so many options to choose from, and I will give you a free sample of this, and you can either keep walking or you can come back for more and pay.
Kids, malls are these things that we used to go to. You've seen them in Stranger Things and other nostalgic movies like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Although most of you are too young to know Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I digress. What was your favorite sample? Oh, wait, hold on. Brooke, should we do that? Should we do like 1, 2, 3, say the sample? Yes. All 3 of us. Let's do it. So it's the mall food court free sample. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Sesame chicken.
We all said chicken. I said Kung Pao chicken.
I said sesame chicken.
General Tso's chicken.
That is, folks, that was the power of the free sample at mall food court. That is, But to bring it back on topic, you give out a lot of free content to add value to create a place in the market where people can trust you as a voice. And it's natural that you also offer products on the other side of a paywall, whether that's one-on-one coaching or classes or different products, you know, goods and services. I love that. That was really fun. That was really fun.
That's where I wish we had like the audience cam on Brooke. Okay, now I want chicken. Lots of free samples of chicken. Anywho, if you're interested in our services here at Get Tape, check the show notes below. I also have links to Alex Collins' social media and his website, so that if you're interested in his paid offerings, you can check those out as well. And be sure to tune into our next segment when we talk about training for actors, a very important topic. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.